Okay, hey, how's everyone doing? Agent 002 here. I am doing something very different today. Now, this is going to spoil episodes if you have been watching my time on the EmeraldCraft beta server. So, with that in mind and all said, if you just want to watch through to know everything we're about to talk about from my episodes, I am releasing them gradually, and they will be all up in due time. It does take me a bit of time to do the editing and such, so if you can understand that. That warning said and out of the way, I am here with Agent 001 here.
How's it going, everyone?
The agency here on EmeraldCraft and the server's mysteries are about to be uncovered.
The mystery of just who is the agency.
We are the agency's leaders.
And it is we who is this server's strongest factions. It is we who choose who lives and who dies.
And it is we who has controlled and manipulated the other players on this server.
Now sit back and listen to how this all began.
So, for our agent's story, I think we'll start up with how he teamed. Do you agree, Agent 001?
I do agree.
So, if you would like to give your view on how this started first.
Well, I was just mining away and I saw this little noob come running out of spawn, dying multiple times. I'm like, who is this guy I just invited to my server? But then after a while, he kind of grew on me. As if you watch the beta episode of the opening that he posted on his channel, Agent 002 here, then you would know everything I'm about to tell you. But we're all just about to give you just a brief overview about everything that happened up to this point, so we don't reveal too many things for those who like to skip one through. So I was just mining away in the public mind. I decided to message Agent 002 here, asking him to team. After he denied someone else to team, he accepted my invitation, and that is what started this series of inevitable events that are about to unfold before your eyes and ears.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself. Other than the noob part, I am quite offended, Double Agent 01. It is insulting. But yes, that is pretty much how we ended up teaming. This is a beta, so as you guys can imagine, I was invited here. This is hand-picked players. But enough of that. If you guys want to know that, you can always watch the opening on my server. Or of this server on my channel. I believe next is our Obsidian Tower. So, Agent 001, if you would like to explain exactly what is different about this server's area around the spawn?
Well, everything around the spawn, including the spawn itself, was built by a team of builders of different nationalities and different time zones. That way, something as big as what's around spawn could be built and worked on 24/7 to ensure that the server's open in a couple weeks, not a month's time. There is a small, medium size compared to most servers, spawn area that's walled off with a 5-layer thick wall of stone brick, obsidian, gravel, obsidian, and stone brick. Now, if you want to join this server and you're sent a copy of the rules, you'll realize why there's a bunch of obsidian lining these 5-layer thick walls. But also around spawn, exiting through the back gate, there's a village that's been amplified from its natural vanilla state. Outside the main gate, the larger gate, there's a walkway leading to the public mine. There's a farm, and all the way around the entire area there are dungeons and ruins and just things that improve the scenery and feel, so people aren't joining a survival vanilla server and just going out and doing their own thing as if they're playing single player with people on the server. We at EmeraldCraft wanted to improve the feel that all beginning players get on this server, and we did that by adding the aesthetics of dungeons, the aesthetics of a volcano, and the aesthetics of the Obsidian Tower that Agent 002 here is about to explain.
Yes, thank you, Agent 001. So, regarding the Obsidian Tower that was just past mentioned, this is one of the dungeons/ruins that was created by either players or admins/builders who were helping work on this server before its 2 weeks alpha had ended and its beta had started. And Obsidian Tower, or the Obsidian Tower that we raided, which was our first thing we actually did as a team, was a pretty tall dungeon. It was completely made out of obsidian with multiple zombie spawners in it. Without going into too great detail of the loot, we took all of it for ourselves, and this pretty much began what was to be our huge roll of just multiple things gathered within just a couple hours of play in the beta.
Well said, well said. And then from there, with all the loot we got from this tower, which is supposed to be a later game tower, but luckily the Agent 002 here wasn't the noob I thought he was, and the combination of our skills as agents came into play, and we acquired all this loot that was meant for later game players. Using it to our best ability, we went and raided the biggest dungeon that took over 12 hours of a team of 8 builders to build. And that was the Ruined Castle.
Yes, the Ruined Castle is in fact the biggest dungeon slash ruin that is on this server. For anyone that does want to see that, episode 3 shows the first peek or preview of us actually going through and getting loot from that castle. It is very massive, and this was designed to have a team of people in at least, what was it, iron or diamond, Agent 001?
Depending on how many people you had, it was designed for at least 2 players in diamond or partial diamond gear, or 3 or more players in iron gear. It wasn't designed for people to go straight there off the bat due to the witch spawners, skeleton spawners, and zombie spawners that just littered the entire area. But with all the loot that is within this ruined castle, all the spawners are more than justified.
Yes, I agree, and we ended up taking it over within, I want to say, over only 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We
40
took literally everything.
Yeah, everything from looting the rooms and the small houses to looting the forge with all of its armor and its few diamonds it had, to looting the bottom floor of the keep itself, working our way all the way up after disabling all of the spawners, and looting the throne chair itself with its diamond ore, its gold blocks, iron blocks, enchanted set of diamond armor, and the famous Excalibur and Shadow Strike, which is famous here on this server.
Yes, those are actually 2 of the greatest weapons, especially that you can get by yourself without having to do the enchanting yourself, and especially early on. Even if you were to have done that with a team, and we only did it with 2, so splitting it up was not hard at all. And I think this is where, after our entire raid of that castle, we began our first main base, which brings us to our next topic.
Yeah, with the founding of our main base, getting the enchantment table set up, another work farm, and doing just normal Minecraft survival things, just to get all the basic stuff we need. We were seeing the founding of what this player, to be mentioned later in this video, he was calling a town to blossom into a country. We felt threatened by this. We didn't want to join no country. We wanted to be ourselves. And that was when us and the so-called agency came up with founding something to battle this faction. Its sole purpose was to destroy this insulting leader and this insulting faction, how cocky he is, thinking he was controlling this server. And as you'll see, as we talk later in this video, you'll see how weak he actually is and how strong the agency actually is. But before we get to that, let's start with the creation of the banner. With multiple failed banners, it took about 8, 9, maybe 10 banners before we actually worked our way up into the banner that you see before your eyes right now. And after this, it led to the very first raid that Agent 002 himself did, which is a bit of a warning by taking this across. Would you like to go into more detail there, 002?
Yes, so to show off from the founding of our agency, which was just named our agency, Agent 001 here had created these banners, not necessarily without my knowledge, but I had not known exactly what we were doing. I agree we had the same problem with this insulting character, who I'm about to explain now. So, there is a character on this server who goes by the name of Phoenix, that is Phnix, for any of you who might want to know. He has, when he started, he actually started later than us of the beta players, and he had a couple days free from having to deal with any of our awesome gear and stuff that we were in fact ahead. Yet this late-come player had started telling everyone within 1 or 2 days, I think it was, Agent 001, that he was the strongest player, that he had the best stuff, and that he was going to build a city that everyone had to be a part of and that everyone was going to love. And my personal opinion on this was blasphemous, to be completely honest. I didn't feel like having to just join someone else's city, let alone have to work in it and join together. This was supposed to be raiding, PvP, such and such. To be told this, it was quite baffling, and so I decided to get back on him once his safety period ended. I went and took all the crops that he was supposed to use to start and fuel up his city. But that is just my opinion. I say we get Agent 001s on this.
And then from there, after taking those crops, which we put to good use into our main base, we felt that the message just did not get across to him, as he was not even fazed by the taking of the crops. So we felt we needed to build our way up to his sky base, ender pearl the 54 blocks on top of his base, and take just a little bit more loot. Take some diamonds, take some emeralds, ender pearls, TNT, bones, bone meal, and a bunch of random tools, along with even more of his crops. And that was done by Agent 002 here, setting the platform up for me, and then me ender pearling over and doing most of the work, leaving our banner and leaving signs as a warning.
Yes,
but then that wasn't enough. Phoenix came back at us and left a letter warning us. Would you like to go into detail about that, Agent 002?
Yes, I would. So, after my friend Agent 001 had kindly requested that he practically step down off his high throne, thinking he was so mighty, personally I believe Agent 001 was much too kind to this arrogant fool, but hey, that's my partner. We each have to have different sides.
Oh,
Nonetheless,
nice.
he did handle it in a way that seemed like it was working. Nothing had happened at first, other than a mere notice that something was up. But our problem causer decided he would write a letter back to the agency through EmeraldCraft's own, what you want to call it, information system, where all the people who play on this server are allowed to just talk amongst each other. Is to make it easier, he decided to leave a letter to us saying how he is not upset at all that his crops were once again taken and that stuff was stolen, because it doesn't actually matter to him, because he has so much stuff that we apparently didn't even know about. And, well, that was pretty insulting. I mean, my friend went through all the trouble to take his stuff, and he acted like it was nothing. So, I decided I'd go back there myself. I had my own little trip, and I decided I would blow up all of it, taking every single thing that I could. And once that was all done, I once again left our banner and some more signs. From there, we had definitely made sure our message was forced, that his ignorance would not be tolerated against the other players that were on this server, not just us. I feel not everyone would have wanted to have agreed amongst his system either way. But if you would like to explain some more, Agent 001.
And then from here became the mass manipulation of every single person on this server. Agent 002 here, along with me, with our amazing agent skills of agency, up in this agency right here that we own. We created such a manipulation telling people that it was one person over another who caused the fighting, who caused the raiding, who actually did the raiding, that they actually believed us. And then they wouldn't believe us, and they would believe it would be someone else. And each time they would come to a different conclusion as to who raided this growing city. We took advantage of it. And before long, after only a couple of days of playing, the infighting got so extreme that players were rage quitting just to take a breather before coming back to the server. Would you like to continue on from here, Agent 002?
Yes, I think this is a very good point. Yes, most of the blame did end up being forced particularly on one person. I will not reveal his or her name in this such video, but for any of you watching this, if you would like to know, or maybe you already happen to, all you have to do is watch the episodes which will be released. But from here, this manipulation did cause one specific person to take the fall for everything we had done. And it had also taken the fall of some of our own things, although I think it was worth it in a manner of speaking. So we had pretty much ended the huge talk that the player causing us so many problems at first had been doing. And from there, many things have been done. We have only gotten much more stuff, much more powerful, and I think they will be quite shocked to find out the truth, don't you think, Agent 001?
Oh yeah, the shocking truth that every Minecraft survival player wants to do before they end their world, and that is go to the end and kill the Ender Dragon. Little do they know that even before that final raid on Phoenix started, the Ender Dragon was already killed by us and our members here in the agency, and our mark was left with banners and signs, just to make sure people know of our power.
Yes, definitely. We made sure to leave every single mark that is this. And just for anyone who may not know, this server was on hard. It is on normal now, but when we fought the Ender Dragon, it was on hard, and we had severe lag problems. I'm talking so bad we couldn't tell when the Ender Dragon was moving.
Yes,
But-
to say the least.
Yes, to say the least. And yet, after 3 times of dying from the Ender Dragon in just what was supposed to be our one fight, an hour of fighting him, we actually killed him. And we did lose a lot of our stuff, I especially, but you know what, we came back out on top, and not even a single player was aware of what had just happened.
But they will be once someone gets the wise idea to go to the inn and they see the banners and the signs and the inn city was found.
Oh, don't confuse them, Agent 001. All they have to do is watch this video.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's the whole point of this video, is to let them know, because things are getting a little bit heated on the server, and we want to be that nice guy, the nice agency. We want to let them know that there's no more infighting that needs to be had. The only thing left that needs to be had is for them to watch this video and realize that now the war has begun. Will the agency and its members outlast the other factions, or will we be destroyed?
Keep on watching to find out. Thanks for watching, as always, everyone. And I think this is a good note to end it off on, Agent 001.
I concur.
Okay, agency signing off.